Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. Welcome to our full coverage of the midterm elections. This is Maine Decides 2022.
And we're going to jump right into it here and get into our results as they are coming in right now. And looking at the current numbers, at least, starting with the gubernatorial race here with Janet Mills, the incumbent Democratic governor, with 76,292 votes at this time. Her challenger, Paul LePage, Republican challenger Paul LePage, with 64,957 votes, and Sam Hunkler, independent, with 2,716 votes. As of right now, just 21% of votes counted.
And moving on to Congressional District 2, also a race that has been top of mind for Mainers. Right now, Republican challenger Bruce Poliquin leading with 35,629 votes over incumbent Jared Golden, the Democrat, 31,639 votes, and independent Tiffany Bond with just 4,958 votes. And we're looking at 22% of votes counted there. So certainly we're seeing that count progress, but still plenty to go.
I'm looking at this next race now, Congressional District 1. Incumbent Shelley Pingree, Democrat, with 39,803 votes, and Edwin Thelander, with the Republican challenger, with 22,427 votes. There's 17% of votes counted, as you can see on your screen at this time.
Alrighty, so those are the latest numbers as we know them to be. This is going to be an evolving situation over the course of the evening for sure. So we'll be keeping our eye on the results,
yes,
and we'll be touching base on those results throughout the show.
Indeed.
In the meantime, the Cross Insurance Center stayed busy all day as residents came to do their civic duty. Many of the voters we spoke to were enthusiastic about casting their ballots.
I have never missed a voting opportunity since I was 18.
It's just a great way to start the day and get it out of the way before we head off and do everything else.
Why did you want to come out and vote today?
Because voting is the right thing to do.
And voters lined up at the Cross Insurance Center, of course, in Bangor to cast their ballots. When polls opening up at 7 o'clock this morning, the city made sure to have plenty of poll workers on hand to help ensure voting was seamless for those making their voices heard on Election Day. Bangor City Clerk Lisa Goodwin said 130 people are working at the polls at the Cross Center alone throughout the day. One of those workers is Andrew Moeller.
Well, I firmly believe in the democratic process and feel that it's really important to make sure that we have, really quality people who are paying attention to our whole process and following procedures and making sure that every vote counts.
And this is the 5th year that Moeller has worked the polls on Election Day. And now taking a look in Lewiston, where former governor and current gubernatorial candidate Paul LePage and supporters have gathered in anticipation of tonight's election results.
Our AJ Douglas is there and joins us live. AJ, how are things in Lewiston?
More supporters are rolling in here at the former governor's headquarters in Lewiston. Behind me, people are watching national election results while still keeping tabs on the gubernatorial race here in Maine. Now, despite Governor Janet Mills taking a considerable lead, the LePage support is going strong. As LePage is scheduled to speak later on tonight, we spoke to a few of his supporters who are eager to hear what he has to say, and we'll have more when that speech happens. All right, back to you in studio.
All right, AJ, thanks so much. Meanwhile, in Portland, Governor Janet Mills and supporters have gathered at the Aura nightclub for their gubernatorial watch party.
Our Tyler Cruz is live in Portland with a look at how that event is going. Tyler?
Hey guys, how's it going? I am here at the Aura nightclub in Portland. It is a packed scene from when I talked to you guys at the 6 o'clock news, and it was really just media here. Now, friends, family, supporters. The place is almost sold out over here. The band was playing behind me a while ago. They've taken a short break. And about 20-30 minutes ago, we saw Janet Mills make her way out onto the dance floor, dancing with what looked like family and supporters. So her day started with voting in her hometown of Farmington and then visiting polling places all across the state, including her stop at Bangor, and then ended up with her dancing here just a few minutes ago. As of right now, she has over 90,000 votes. Paul LePage under 80,000. So looking good right now for Janet Mills. Also here at this watch party is Shelley Pingree. She has a sizable lead over her Republican opponent. So vibes are good over here down at the Aura nightclub. Like I said, music's playing. The band should be back out soon. Janet Mills was dancing on the dance floor with supporters. just a great scene over here overall. People seem happy. That mood seems positive, and a great night here at the Aura nightclub in Portland. I'm going to send it back to you guys right now, but from downtown Portland, I'm Tyler Cruz. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, I guess, it's in the hands of the voters at this point, so all you can do is enjoy the evening and celebrate with your friends and colleagues.
Yeah, absolutely. And great to see spirits are high among both campaigns there, at least in the gubernatorial race.
Yeah.
And, the supporters coming out in strong numbers to show their support tonight for both candidates. So, definitely very impressive to see that voter turnout today, hear all about that, and just know that people are passionate here and made about their politics.
Indeed, and certainly folks were lined up for quite a while. Some folks really having to do some waiting before they could get in and actually cast their ballot. Yeah. Luckily, it was a pretty nice day outside if you were standing in line for a while. A bit cooler and a bit more blustery, but certainly a sunny, nice day overall. And with a little bit more on what we can expect weather-wise, let's go ahead and take a first look at our forecast.
All right, Beth, thank you. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather is brought to you by GRF Real Estate Company. And okay, so today, big day, right? Elections are on the country. Nice day for us with temperatures hanging out in the 40s, but that's a bit cool for this time of the year. We're going to work on that, though, as warmer temperatures are on the way. But we did this. 48 in Bangor, 46 Millinocket, 48 for Bar Harbor. Tomorrow, getting closer to 50. And then there are some 60s in the 5-day forecast. Looking outside right now, lots of clear skies. Clear skies tonight and less windy tonight, too. But overall, a nice stretch of weather is on the way. We should keep things dry around here into the weekend. Our forecast then tonight, though, is mostly clear skies, partly cloudy skies, with low temperatures down in the 20s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth?
All righty, Jeff. Thanks so much. And stay with us as Maine Decides 2022 continues.
We'll have much more on up-to-date results and local election coverage when we come right back. Stay with us.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Liberty Mutual. They customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Contestants ready? Go! No. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Bouchard Cleaning, rebuilding and restoring means more than just another job. To us, it's about bringing back cherished memories, restoring unforgettable moments in time, and giving hope when all was thought to be lost. For over 35 years, our mission has remained the same. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration.
Tiller & Rye embraces an old-world approach to grocery shopping. Located at 20 South Main Street in Brewer, Tiller & Rye sources from hundreds of Maine farmers and artisans where you can find local meats, dairy products, fresh baked bread, craft beer, even a cafe and deli.
The winter sun. It's a ticking clock where shorter days mean a precious countdown has begun. So chase the sun and seize the season, because when the days are at their shortest, it's on us to make them the fullest.
Get $500 purchase allowance on a 2023 Cadillac XT4, XT5, and XT6. Visit your local Cadillac dealer today.
ABC 7 and Fox 22 live at the Anna Schreiner's Festival of Trees on November 17th. A beautiful holiday live event sponsored locally by Village Variety. Delicious food and great service with a down-home atmosphere. Stop by today. Rowell's Garage and Car Wash, 191 East Main Street, Dover Foxcroft. See their inventory at rowellsgarage.com. And Luigi and Fredericks in Bangor for the fast and freshest flowers around.
Hall of Fame night. It's the world's greatest in sports, music, and more behind the mask.
Who is this?
The Masked Singer, all new Wednesday at 8 on Fox.
Coming up on Good Morning Maine, we will have the latest election results as they come in. We'll hear from the Mills and LePage headquarters and ballot question results from around the area. All of this and more for your post-election day recap, as well as your radar weather updates and meal prep ideas from Mr. Food. All of this and more on Good Morning Maine.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, District 2 candidate Bruce Poliquin and company are settled in at the Broadway Dysarts location for their watch party. Our David Ledford stopped by to see how things were going.
I'm at Dysarts in Bangor tonight at Bruce Poliquin's watch party ahead of the election, where he is set to give an address to the voters of Maine. we actually had a moment to speak with Poliquin about some of the issues that are important to him before he gave that address.
I hope that the people in our 2nd district are going to say, you know, we got to do something about the highest inflation in 40 years. We got to get inflation back down. We can't live with $6 a gallon heating oil and $4 a gallon gas. You know, when I was serving, both heating oil and gasoline were $2 each. So, but when you start restricting the supplies of our energy, it drives up the price. That's what the people of Maine have been telling me, and tonight is their time to weigh in.
For all things election, we'll be here tonight, and we'll keep you covered as the night progresses.
All right, and thank you, David. Meanwhile, a representative from Jared Golden's campaign spoke to supporters as the polls closed across the state this evening. He said Jared Golden is watching the results closely with his family, and he's expected to speak later tonight or in the morning when that race has been decided.
He doesn't seek the limelight. He's not in it for that. He's in it to do the work for his constituents. And I like to say he's a workhorse, not a show horse. And the citizens of this district really appreciate that.
All righty. And so that's word from our District 2 representatives. And moving on for a little more additional insight this evening, we're here live with Secretary of State Shenna Bellows. Shenna, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Wanted to talk a little bit about, first of all, we know that turnout was really great this time around. So let's talk a little bit about turnout for folks who weren't with us earlier. It was looking pretty good today.
It was a record year for a midterm. We know the absentee votes were the highest ever, exceeding 2018. And based on what we saw across the state in both rural and larger municipalities, turnout was high.
And we also know this year was a little different in the sense that there was redistricting before this particular election. So talk a little bit about the impact of that redistricting and what exactly it meant.
That's right. Every 10 years after the census, there's a redistricting process, or reapportionment as we call it in Maine. In Maine, it's an independent process with an equal number of Democrats, Republicans, and a single independent chair. So our redistricting was very nonpartisan, and I don't think it had a huge impact on the races and the results you'll see tonight.
And you mentioned a record number of absentee votes coming in as well. How much did the pandemic maybe play into a boost in absentee voting? And do you think that it's something that more people are becoming aware of, about how easy that might be?
Absolutely. No excuse absentee voting is here to stay. We saw over 250,000 Maine voters cast an absentee ballot this year. That's out of an estimated more than 600,000 voters total who will participate.
And just finally, I also think, people have faith in Maine elections. Talk a little bit about the safety and security of Maine elections and how we've gone about making sure that that is intact for this year.
Mainers should be so proud. Our elections are free, fair, and secure. Right now, as we speak, you have teams of people from both parties working with our election workers at the polling places now that the polls have closed, very carefully counting those ballots, tabulating those votes, making sure they're accurate.
I think we'd like to see the numbers coming in more quickly, but certainly we want accurate counts first and foremost. So we'll be waiting for those teams to continue their work.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we want to thank you so much for joining us this evening and providing your insight as well.
Yeah.
It was a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, make sure that you stay with us as we continue our coverage of Maine Decides 2022.
All right. We'll have more up-to-date results coming your way.
When it comes to winter footwear, warmth, waterproof, and safety matter most. Take the drive today to Comfort Shoes and More in Newport and discover the latest in winter boot technology. We've got boots rated from -60 to 0 degrees Fahrenheit to keep your feet warm in any weather. Check out the new materials guaranteed to keep your feet dry. Relieve the anxiety of slipping and falling this winter with the new Navitech with grippers built right into the sole. Just flip it and clip it and you're ready to go. Be prepared this winter. Take the drive today to Comfort Shoes and More in Newport.
Let's face it, getting training and experience is hard, but at Loring Job Corps, we can help. From certifications in automotive technology, obtaining your CDL, or learning building trades, we have you covered. Maybe you prefer joining the high-tech world of computer networking or cybersecurity. We have that as well. Don't delay, get in the driver's seat to your future today. And the best part, Loring Job Corps is free. Receive free training, free meals, and even free housing. Call or go to jobcorps.gov/Loring. Job Corps careers begin here.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X. GMC, we are professional grade.
ABC7 and Fox 22 live at the Anna Schreiner's Festival of Trees on November 17th. A beautiful holiday live event sponsored locally by Cat Tracks LaGrange, your dealer for Hewitt Docks and Grasshopper lawnmowers. Leo & Sons Auto Repair, a family-owned business providing fast and dependable auto repair services. And Jerry's Used Cars at 2 locations, Route 7 Corinna and State Street VZ.
I can't wait to mess with these people.
Crank it up and hold on tight.
There's no planning for this.
Lego Masters' biggest bricking season.
You're building pirate ships.
Has unbelievable, heart-racing, most impossible blockbuster builds.
Oh my God, we're doing Marvel. Good luck.
An epic all-new season of Lego Masters, Wednesdays at 9/8 Central on Fox.
You've never built like this before.
I'm schwitzy. Oh my gosh.
And watch anytime.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, ahead of the election, we reached out and talked to Maine's 2 primary political parties about the challenging political landscape, what their priorities are for the state, and how Maine can set the standard for bipartisanship for the rest of the country. Each party was given the same questions and was able to respond without interruption. We start our conversation with Maine Democratic Party Executive Director Bev Uhlenhake. Bev, thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate your time and coming in.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah, busy time of year for sure.
Absolutely.
So let's get right to the questions, which same questions I'll be asking the Republican Party. So the last 5 years or so have been definitely some of the most tumultuous politically in modern history. How do you think your party has changed as a result?
You know, it definitely has. I mean, we've watched democracy itself be threatened. And we've also seen lots of our own personal freedoms being taken away, particularly with the Roe decision this summer. In terms of how our party has changed, I don't think it has. I think that we are just as strong as we always were. I think these things are getting us out to vote in a different way, and definitely more active. However, in terms of who we are as a person and who we are as a party, our values are still the same, and that's that we make sure that no one gets left behind.
And that goes right into the second question. How would you define your party's agenda and priorities, specifically referencing the state of Maine? Yeah.
I think it's really obvious when you look at what's been done over the last 4 years. More than 95,000 people now have health care who didn't have it before. We have full funding for schools. We have full funding for municipal revenue sharing. These are the things that we've done to make sure things have happened. These are the ways that we take care of our state, that we lead the state, and that's what's going to continue. Our priorities are the same. We are going to make sure that the state of Maine is taken care of.
Is there a most important priority for the Dems, either now or moving forward?
I think that there are lots of priorities. I think that core value of we make sure that people's freedoms are in place, that people have the freedom to do as they choose, that people have the ability to take care of themselves. And those are things that happen when you've got full education funding, when you've got the ability to go to community college or the university system at a different level, when you've got the ability to vote and make sure that your vote is counted. Those are really, really important.
You kind of answered question number 3, but I'll ask it. Ask it anyway. How do those priorities, the priorities that you've stated for the Maine Democratic Party, how do those priorities move the state of Maine forward?
It moves individuals forward. It moves us together as a group. I think that you can also see what we've done in a bipartisan fashion over the last 4 years. And there's just some really great things that have happened. Budgets have passed with bipartisan support. Full unanimous support of the budget from the Appropriations Committee. Those things are really important here in the state of Maine. We do things well together.
And speaking of bipartisanship, the last question, we have seen extreme partisanship, at times heated rhetoric, even hostility in government in recent years. Many find the national political landscape to be really daunting. How can Maine's political parties set a better example, at least at the state level, and how specifically will Maine Democrats work to do that?
So I think that you can see that we've already done it in some of the ways that we talked about already. You can also see it just in the state of Maine and how we're set up. In the last year or 2 years, we've had the bipartisan commission to redistrict. And we've done that in a way in the state of Maine, and I was lucky to be a part of that, in a way that is really one of the most bipartisan fashions across the country. The people can walk away from that process and feel like they're going to be represented by someone that represents them and their district, and that it's not done on a partisan level. Those are the kinds of things the state of Maine does. Those are the kind of things the Democratic Party in the state of Maine absolutely supports, in addition to a lot of the other things. When you look at the housing bill that was put through last year, when you look at the budget bills that were put through last year, these are all things that we make sure that we do together, and we do with the support of the entire state.
Is there anything you'd like to add before we close?
I am so proud of our candidates that we've had this year and how they've run such a positive race. And I will say that generally I think that that's the case across the state and across the parties, and including the independents. The state of Maine should be really proud. When you look at things happening across the country and you look at the state of Maine, I think that we do a really fine job of working together. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Bev. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. And now here is our conversation with Maine GOP Executive Director Jason Savage. Jason, thanks so much for your time and for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Alrighty, so our first question. The last 5 years or so have certainly been some of the most tumultuous politically in modern history. How has your party changed as a result?
Well, you know, one of the things that I really think about as far as our party over the last few years is that we've grown to have a much greater focus on working people in this state and across the country, and how every little thing that happens in Washington, D.C. or Augusta changes their lives, and how we can do things to try to make that better. And before, I feel like the party was just sort of looking at everything from sort of a big picture, what's the GDP, what's the unemployment rate kind of perspective.
Okay. How would you define now your party's agenda and priorities, specifically then pertaining to the state of Maine?
In this election and where we are right now, we're looking at, you know, the cost of living, inflation, making sure families can afford to put food on the table, buy their kids a winter coat, you know, and do the basics. And then how do we go beyond that and really advance prosperity so that people can get ahead, put some money in the savings, you know, go on that vacation and enjoy life, because we're not here to just survive. We should be looking to find ways to help the people of the state of Maine thrive.
Are you able to narrow it down to one specific priority? Like if you had to name the most important priority for the Maine GOP?
The most important priority at this exact moment in time is the cost of living, specifically the cost that people are facing with their electricity bills, their grocery prices, and heating their homes.
So keeping those priorities and that agenda in mind, how then does that agenda move the state of Maine forward?
Well, you can't move the state of Maine forward unless we do something about that. The energy and costs in our economy are the driver of everything that we do. When diesel prices go up, food goes up, everything else you buy goes up. When your electricity bill goes up, you have less money to spend on other things. Employers can't hire and grow when energy costs more. So we have to get all of that under control if we want to move Maine forward. You know, before COVID, before the state got shut down, the economy in Maine was doing quite well, and we have to get ourselves to the point where we're there and we're jumping off into a bigger, brighter, more prosperous future.
And our last question. We've seen extreme partisanship, at times heated rhetoric, and even hostility in government in recent years. Many find the political landscape, at least nationally, to be daunting. How can Maine's political parties set a better example, at least at the state level, and how specifically will the Maine GOP do that?
That's a really good question, but there's a piece of that that's missing.
Okay.
Our form of government is set up so that there is debate and argument about issues. That kind of debate and argument about issues is critical to actually doing the best we can. What the problem is people should be able to argue and tell each other they're wrong and then decide on what the best compromise is. And what we have right now at the national level is everybody disagrees and then walks away and does nothing. I believe that we can do better in that regard by making a commitment to be at the table to find the solution, even when when both sides are telling the other side that they're wrong. And then, you know, our commitment is always going to be, and I feel especially in the last few years, always going to be show up and do the best you can for the people of the state of Maine every day.
Okay, and I pose this to the Democrats as well, so I'll ask you, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I would add that I sincerely hope for the future of the state of Maine that this election goes in favor of Republicans, and not only will we keep our word in doing the things that we say that we're going to do, but we will on day one start working to earn the trust of the people so that they will leave us in that position to do good for them in the future.
All right, Jason, we thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right. Alrighty, and here with some expert insight and analysis to those conversations that we had with Maine Dems and the Maine GOP, as well as insight into other aspects of the election tonight. We're joined by University of Maine political science professor Mark Brewer. Mark, thanks so much for joining us tonight. You'll see him up on your screen in just a moment. And Mark, we know that we are not the only ones who have asked for your expert political opinion in the last couple of days, so we know your voice is struggling a bit. Thank you for joining us anyway tonight.
Well, thank you for having me. I'll do the best I can.
Absolutely. So after you've listened to Maine Dems and Maine GOP talk about what they state their agendas to be as of this day, what is your reaction to what they said?
Well, I think they're both emphasizing the things they think are going to help them out the most. In this particular election cycle, if I'm a Republican, I want to talk about inflation, right? Inflation is a huge issue. Republicans think it's a winner for them, and I'd want to talk about it as much as I could. Democrats, on the other hand, don't want to talk about that. They would prefer to talk about, at least in Maine, governor's response to COVID, state budget situation, things like that, abortion rights, not really wanting to talk about inflation. If you look at Jason Savage's comments, cost of living front and center, which is the same thing I would do if I were in his shoes.
Right, and a lot of those issues, too, kind of blending as well, you know, inflation affecting so many other aspects of our life. How do you think that maybe Democrats can address that issue in a way that, you know, will make their base happy?
Well, it's very difficult for anyone to do at the state level. It's a national and really an international issue. So looking to deal with that at the state level is very difficult. Impossible is probably too strong of a word, but very difficult to handle at the state level. The national level, you could make a different argument there. I think one of the things that's trying to be done is, you know, the only thing we know works for sure is raising interest rates. And eventually that brings inflation down. History tells us it also causes some other things that maybe are less than ideal.
And finally, Mark, because we want to save your voice as much as possible. But, you know, they both sort of commented on Maine's ability to set a standard for bipartisanship, at least at the state level, and with how the state parties conduct themselves. They both seem to think Maine does a pretty good job of doing that already. What are your thoughts on sort of Maine's state of bipartisanship, if you will?
I actually would agree with them on that. I think Maine does a pretty good job of being civil in their political exchanges and back and forth. Maine was an outlier in that situation when I first moved here 20 plus years ago. I think it still is. So I would agree. Jason Savage said that, our system is predicated on debate, difference of opinion, argument even, and I think he's right about that. As long as it's conducted civilly, I think it's fine, and I think for the most part in Maine, that's true, and it's definitely much more civil than what we see at the national level.
Absolutely. All right, Mark, thank you so much. Hang in there with us, and we'll be coming back to you a little bit later on this evening. In the meantime, stay with us for more results. Maine Decides 2022.
This is an exciting U.S. team. They're young, they're hungry.
Yo, Wes, could you pass that?
Rolling it in, lays it off, cutting it back. What a finish!
Thanks, man.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 selling nerve care company. Nervive contains alpha-lipoic acid to relieve occasional nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort. Try Nervive Nerve Relief.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe. Just one dose starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, sore throat 9 to none medicine.
I'm Jay Pearl from Carroll Harper & Associates, Maine's most experienced Medicare health plans agency. Every day we hear how complicated navigating the Medicare maze can be. Let us help. From enrolling in Medicare to finding the right Medicare health plan, we are your go-to agency. We represent Martins Point Generations Advantage and other Medicare health plans that meet our quality standards. There's no cost or obligation for our services, so call Carroll Harper & Associates today.
Did you know that Renewal by Andersen will replace your windows any time of the year and in any weather? Made with our exclusive Fibrix material, which is vastly superior to vinyl, never needs painting, and resists warping and bowing. We custom build your replacement windows in the USA and back them with the nation's best warranty. Call Renewal by Andersen for your free consultation. Don't miss this money-saving deal with great financing. Installation is always included. Call now.
ABC 7 and Fox 22, live at the Anna Schreiner's Festival of Trees on November 17th. A beautiful holiday live event, sponsored locally by Doors Equipment. See them for Kubota sales and service, 1468 Hammond Street, Bangor. Are you running low on snacks? Do you need a stiff drink? Looking to get a bite to eat? C&K Variety has it all. And Complete Tire Service Incorporated. Make them your next stop for new tires, quality maintenance, and professional auto repair services. Looking for winter services? There is still time to sign up. The pros at Atlantic Lawn Care and Landscape specialize in snow removal and ice management for commercial and residential properties. They will take care of the snow plowing, snow blowing, shoveling, salting, and sanding. Atlantic now has 2 locations and is accepting new clients in Brewer, Bangor, Vesey, and in town Orono, Brunswick, Topsail, Bath, and surrounding areas. Call for your free estimate or visit our website for customizable services. Local, reliable, and fully insured. Atlantic Lawn Care and Landscape.
Welcome back in, everyone, to Maine Decides 2022. We're going to take a quick look at the gubernatorial race right now as it stands. An update for you since our show began at 10 o'clock. Governor Janet Mills, the incumbent, with 103,333 votes currently. She leads Republican challenger Paul LePage with 88,959 votes. We have an update for you now. He is now in the lead with 102,089 votes, and Sam Hunkler with 4,262 votes. Or rather, Janet Mills is in the lead with 111,080 votes there.
And just 29% of the vote counted. So we have a pretty nice chunk in, but I don't think you can count anybody out, especially in this particular political landscape. So we'll just have to keep bringing you updates as we get them, as those new numbers come in. And now we're going to turn things over to Susan Farley with some results on some local issues. Susan.
Local results have been a little slower coming in, but we do have the numbers for one race. In East Millinocket, voters there decided for 2 selectmen for 3-year terms. Dale Hayes got 337 votes. Mark Marston got 300 votes. And Anthony Marscone Jr. got 452 votes. So it looks like Dale Hayes and Anthony Marscone Jr. are the winners in that. We are watching two issues that voters will be deciding across the state. Bar Harbor, daily limits on cruise ship disembarkments ordinance. It started out as a citizen's petition, and the question actually will restrict the number of cruise ship passengers getting off in Bar Harbor to the 1,000 each day. That could change the face of tourism there. And we're also taking a look at a question for residents in Albion, Benton, Clinton, and Fairfield. It's a state-funded elementary school for MSD 45. It will build and equip a new elementary school for grades 3 through 6. It will be located in the town of Benton. Again, that will be fully funded by the state. And if they don't approve it, another school district will actually get a chance to get a new school. If they do approve it, there's a second question for voters there, and that will ask them to approve a larger gym and additional bleacher seating for that new school. As I mentioned, the results are coming in a little bit slower than usual, and that's probably because a lot of the town clerks are still counting the ballots. And we were at a bunch of the polling places earlier today. They said that the turnout was steady, if not a little bit higher than it usually is for this type of midterm election. And I'm sure that they're still busy counting because of that. We'll have more turnout and election results as they become available. Beth and Peter, back to you.
All right, Susan, thank you so much. And so, everything from the governor's race to congressional seats down to local issues that are really important to the people and those communities. Yeah. And we'll be keeping our eyes out for all of those results, all of those things important to Maine people.
Absolutely. And those results, as they come in, will also be on our website as well.
Yep. And we're going to look now at some some state Senate races as well. So we'll have those coming up right now. State Senate District 10 for Southern Penobscot and North Waldo counties. Ralph Kamack, the Democrat, 5,061 votes, with his Republican challenger Peter Lyford currently leading with 6,373 votes, and a little more than half of those votes counted.
And on to the State Senate District 4 race here. Stacey Guerin, the incumbent, with a strong lead with 8,414 votes over Democratic challenger Andrea Thurlow with 3,400 votes. As of right now, 61% of votes counted in that race.
All right, so moving on, we have State House District 24, Bangor, Vesey, Orono. Incumbent Democrat Joseph Perry currently leading with 1,444 votes over Roderick Hathaway, the Republican challenger, with 876 votes. Just 11% of those votes counted, so keeping our eyes on that one for sure.
And the State House District 25 race for Orono, Lori Osher, the incumbent Democrat, with 1,822 votes. Cameron Bowie, the Republican, with 506 votes there. That is pretty much concluded at this point with 99% of those votes counted.
All right, State House District 12, Gouldsboro, Hancock, Winter Harbor. Republican incumbent Billy Bob Fockingham currently in the lead, 1,821 votes. Unenrolled Roy Gott, the challenger, 1,224 votes. 67% of those votes counted. So not over yet, but definitely seeing a pattern. All right, so some state races there, either in the very early stages. We saw one with just 11% counted, and you saw one with 99% counted. So it's just going to be kind of a roller coaster ride of a night for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, the pace of these races and these vote counts definitely spread out a little bit over some of these different races as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks. Well, coming up, our full 5-day is coming up next, so we'll get a little check of the weather when we come back.
High temperatures back in the upper 40s today. We'll get close to that again tomorrow before some much warmer temperatures are on the way for the weekend. Again, those details for you coming up.
Renovating or building new, you'll find a wide selection of high-performing, energy-efficient, and beautiful windows and doors at Hammond Lumber Company. Your Hammond sales representative will walk you through the showroom displays and help you choose options to create a personalized custom look. Free in-home measurement is available, and Hammond can deliver your order from any of their locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Bring your vision and enjoy better light and added security and energy savings with quality windows and doors from Hammond Lumber Company.
Okay, everyone, our mission is complete balanced nutrition. Together, we support immune function, supply fuel for immune cells, and sustain tissue health.
Ensure with 25 vitamins and minerals, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
When the Katahdin General Store wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Come to the KG for fishing, hunting, and camping supplies, souvenirs, unique gifts, apparel like Lazy One, fresh sandwiches and baked goods, the beer cave, liquor, and a variety of takeout items.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
Should have gone with US Cellular. They aren't raising prices on any of their plans.
Seriously?
Yeah, my price won't increase.
Well, that is refreshing. I feel like everywhere you turn these days, prices are going up.
Supply chain got us too. Don't get me started on the overhead costs.
At US Cellular, every plan for everyone is price protected.
You know, I respect a female entrepreneur.
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
On Good Morning Maine, we start each day with a fresh look at what's happening and what's to come.
All the information you need, fast and to the point.
All while having a little fun, too.
We want to set you up for your best day ahead.
And you get a great start to your day by watching Good Morning Maine.
It's Battle of the Ages.
These old geezers better work.
This old guy's here to play.
This is a joke. Hell's Kitchen, Battle of the Ages, Thursday on Fox.
The baddest superstars on the planet are unleashed in prime time. All new Friday Night SmackDown at 8 Eastern on Fox.
Here we go. Your full weather is brought to you by Thornton Brothers in Lincoln. Buy a new or used Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram vehicle from us today. You make the drive, we'll make the deal. Okay, put a log on the fire tonight because we'll have low temperatures generally in the 20s tonight, a couple low 30s out there as well. But the bigger trend is going to be warmer temperatures on the way. Today we did this, which is about what we're supposed to do this time of year. 46 in Millinocket, 48 here in Bangor, 48 for Bar Harbor. We'll take it. It is November, right? But warmer temperatures are on the way to end out the week. Tonight, though, not so much. We'll have low temperatures pretty much hanging out upper 20s, low 30s. And tomorrow, recover back up into the mid, even upper 40s across our region tomorrow. But then the real warm stuff kicks in again. And 60s are not out of the question later on this week. Again, the bigger picture is a La Nina pattern here. And this typically is an active one for us. At least it stirs up the atmosphere. And we had that today with lots of wind across our region. And that's going to continue into tonight, but then die down tomorrow as we stay dry for several more days. Still some wind advisories out there, though, basically gale warnings. We're talking about 8 to 12-foot seas out here just offshore right now. All right, the wind is beginning to pull back just a bit, not entirely, still sustained out of the northwest at 13 in Bangor, 20 in Greenfield, then 10 Millinocket. So we'll take this, but it will come down a bit tonight, and then overall tomorrow we'll have wind gusts up near 15 to 20. Lots of clear skies out there today, right? Lots of clear skies, man, sunshine, a gorgeous day, albeit a bit cool. There are some clouds to our north, and those will basically stay there for now. We have a cool night ahead with those clear skies out there, but there is a lot going on in the atmosphere to the west of us, and that will give us some stuff getting in here later on this week. Okay, so for tonight, no worries at all. Here's tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock or so, nothing but sunshine tomorrow. And then throughout the day tomorrow, we'll call it increasing clouds tomorrow night, and then mostly cloudy tomorrow evening. Stays that way pretty much on Thursday as well. As a system passes to our north, the storm track is up there, and we're going to stay dry into the weekend, and most likely another nice day for us on Thursday and Friday. The jet stream is there too, by the way, meaning over here it's going to get much warmer. Our forecast then tonight, though, is mostly clear skies. I went with 25 for a low. A couple of you could get a bit cooler than that. Look for a northwest wind that could gust near 25, making that 25 feel a bit cooler, right? For tomorrow, we're talking about lots of sunshine, high temperatures back up, upper 40s. A couple of you may touch 50 tomorrow with that northwest breeze around 5 to 10. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows lots of sunshine tomorrow. That is a 60 back in the forecast for Thursday. Low 60s on Friday. A good chance for some rain showers now on Saturday with a high temperature back in the mid-60s, followed by a cold front and 40s back in the forecast on Sunday. Beth?
Definitely seeing some dippage going on there in the particularly with the lows. We're looking at 28 now overnight. So,
yeah,
alrighty, nice and cool.
Yeah, and then rebounding back into some more comfortable temperatures again. So
during the day, so it still makes those days you can get out and do whatever you want.
Yep, exactly. All right. Well, sports is coming up next, so stay with us for that.
We love our pets, but we don't always love their hair, which is why we made Bounce Pet Hair and Lint Guard. With 3 times the pet hair fighting ingredients, just one sheet helps remove pet hair from your clothes. Looking good starts in the dryer with Bounce Pet.
When Natural Living Center wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Natural Living Center offers natural groceries, organic produce, the largest selection of supplements in the area, gluten-free products, and more for your health. ABC 7 and Fox 22, live at the Anna Schreiner's Festival of Trees on November 17th. A beautiful holiday live event, sponsored locally by Central Maine Antique Mall, offering antiques, fine art, and collectibles from some of Maine's finest dealers. Dorsey Furniture, Route 1A Holden. Dorsey Fall Clearance Sale is going on now. This means big discounts on selected items. And Patriot Homes can tackle all your building projects. We do mobile, modular, stick-built homes to garages, porches, and more.
They needed help, so they asked for volunteers. In 24 hours, I was at the front.
And the captain said, well, we're going to be next. It'll be here in 2 minutes. We saw the torpedo coming in, and it hit us right in the middle. Big thump, but no big explosion. And all I could hear was about 1,000 whispers of, oh, thank you, God. Thank you so much.
I looked at the door, and out comes all these women with those beautiful uniforms on. I think a light bulb went off in my brain because I thought, I think that would be for me.
Who is it that's still living that was in World War II? I'm one of the youngest.
This Veterans Day, we honor Maine's World War II veterans. Our heroes, their own words, Friday at 8 on ABC 7.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by Body Graphics Tattoo and Piercing Studio. Visit us at our new location at 27 Bangor Mall Boulevard in the Mid-Mall, 478-7856.
Welcome back in, everybody. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Ryan Sudol. It was a big weekend in soccer up here. At the high school level, state champs crowned in all classes across the state. And at the college level, the Husson men's soccer team punched a ticket to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2014. The Eagles, who rode a perfect conference record into the postseason, captured an NAC East championship 2 weekends ago, and then took a 1-0 overtime victory against SUNY Delhi to take home the conference championship, their first one in 8 years. And they say, with all the hard work the team has put in both this year and last, that win meant a lot.
The group of guys I have behind me, I mean, everyone on this team has contributed. The time, the effort that we put in every training session, we're there, you know, this is a family to me. This means so much for all of us.
Now the Eagles have a big test ahead of them. They've never actually won an NCAA tournament game, and they're going to have to beat one of the best teams in the country if they want to get over that hump. The Eagles head down to play Amherst, the host of the regional. And they know they're dogs in the game, but they're also not rolling over.
We're little old Husson from Bangor, Maine. And, you know, a lot of the teams don't even know the record that we have or don't even know how successful we've been over 2 seasons. And so I said to these guys, you know, we've been waiting for this moment. This is our chance. We don't turn up and let anybody just walk all over us. And so we're going to go down there and give them a real shot.
We're the underdogs, right? We have everything to win. And playing one of the best teams in the nation, in our opinion. We have everything to win. It's going to be such a great challenge, and we're ready for it.
Okay, on to some football now. The Patriots picked up a win this week, and now they're back over 500, and they have a week to get some rest before their next game. The defense was the highlight of the day on Sunday, recording 9 sacks and a pick 6. Offense did enough to get by, but it was in no means stellar. Mac Jones threw the ball 30 times for 20 receptions under 150 yards and a score. The silver lining, though, no turnovers from him. Now with the win, they take a 2-game winning streak into the bye week, with a chance to rest up and get ready for their opponents from 2 Sundays ago, the Jets. And coming out of the bye, they say they'd like more consistency and some improvements on offense.
Between the coaching staff and the players and just a consistent performance, play in and play out, week in and week out. I think that's really the biggest challenge for us moving forward.
Obviously, offensively, we want to do even better, and we will, and we got to look at the tape to kind of figure that out. But defense played great. Uche 3 sacks, Judon 3 sacks, Bentley sack, DYs half a sack. So it was just sacks everywhere.
That's it for sports. I'm Ryan Sudol. We'll be right back.
Now you can take on the elements with confidence because your New England Ford dealers have weather-ready SUVs in stock for immediate delivery. From Escape with available intelligent all-wheel drive, to Explore with a terrain management system, to Bronco Sport with GOAT modes. Whatever the forecast brings, you'll be prepared to take the season by storm. Drive home your weather-ready Ford SUV with financing as low as 0.9% on select 2022 models.
Tiller & Rye embraces an old-world approach to grocery shopping. Located at 20 South Main Street in Brewer, Tiller & Rye sources from hundreds of Maine farmers and artisans where you can find local meats, dairy products, fresh baked bread, craft beer, even a cafe and deli.
Welcome to Rebecca's. For over 30 years, we've been serving our local customers in downtown Bangor, and we invite you to explore our historic shop.
Rebecca's carries many Maine-made products from local artisans. Perhaps you need a gift basket for your next celebration. We'll be glad to help. From blueberry ceramic dishes, gourmet foods featuring Stonewall Kitchen, fine wines to antique dishes and furniture. You're sure to find that perfect gift.
We hope to see you soon at Rebecca's.
Come try one of our daily specials at Pat's Pizza in Hamden.
Tuesday, spaghetti or ziti with meatballs or sausage, only $5.50.
Wednesday, large one-topping pizza, only $8.50.
Thursday, get an oven-baked wrap for only $6.
Friday is fish and fries for only $8.
And Saturday, get a small one-item pizza with a fountain soda, only $8.
Bring the family to Pat's Pizza, 662 Main Road, North Hamden.
Say goodbye to lag times and death spirals with our crazy fast fiber internet. At GoNet Speed, we've dropped our prices on fiber. That means hello to fast fiber internet starting at just $49.95 per month. Or go up to 1 gig, that's 1,000 megabits per second, for only $69.95 a month. The lowest prices we've ever offered. No contract, no hidden fees, no joke. Visit GoNetspeed.com to check availability in your area.
Pictionary.
An umbrella.
Umbrella's correct. Pencil us in.
A person, a penguin.
Bird, big bird.
Big bird is correct.
Every weekday.
On Fox 22.
Young Sheldon Boy Genius, a small town boy with a heightened sense of smell.
Ew. Put your shoes back on.
Young Sheldon.
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
Back to Maine Decides 2022.
Folks, we're going to go right now to the LePage campaign where former Governor LePage is speaking right now.
Struggling. And guess what? This lovely young lady right here, we're not struggling. We're just trying to help. Janet Mills, I just hope that your second term, if I lose, is better than your first term, because you are not an honest, sincere person. You're an elitist, and I think that America needs better than people who are not better because people think they're. So let me tell you something. It's not over yet, but my God, I hope she signs those 2 days. A waiver for heating oil, a waiver for truck drivers. because heating oil is going to be very, very scarce, and we don't need this. We want to take care of people. And so I failed to make the message. We missed the message. It's about abortion, not about heating oil. Thank you very much.
All right, well, that was former Governor Paul LePage and current Republican challenger. It sounds like he may have been either conceding the race or talking about the possibility of him conceding the race, and having some comments there for current Governor Janet Mills and her potential second term. Of course, that race not decided yet, as far as we know.
Yeah, certainly an interesting look into that scene there.
Oh. Alrighty, well, let's just take a look at the numbers now as we head out of our show. So looking at the gubernatorial race, Democratic incumbent Governor Janet Mills with a decisive lead, 144,098 votes over Paul LePage with 123,726 votes. Independent Sam Hunkler with 5,134 votes. We're seeing 40% of votes counted in that race.
Moving on to the Congressional District 2 race now, incumbent Democrat Jared Golden with just over 70,000 votes there. Bruce Poliquin, the Republican challenger, with 67,508 votes, and Tiffany Bond, independent, coming in with just over 10,000 votes there, and approaching 50% of votes counted in that race.
State Senate District 10, Southern Penobscot and North Waldo counties. Ralph Kamak, Democrat, 5,513 votes. Currently in second now is Republican challenger Peter Lyford with 7,354 votes, looking at 61% of votes counted there, so over the 50% hump for sure.
And now moving on to the State Senate District 4 race, Southwest Penobscot and Central Piscataquis counties. Is Stacey Guerin, the incumbent Republican candidate, with 9,377 votes. Andrea Thurlow, the Democrat, with 3,711 votes. The majority of those votes counted right now, 67%, looking like a win for Stacey Guerin.
State House District 20 incumbent Kevin O'Connell, a Democrat, 2,050 votes with a razor-thin margin over Jennifer Moran, Republican, with 2,003 votes. Now, 91% of votes counted there, but that margin's pretty slim, so we can still see some change.
And now the State House District 25. This race has been called Lori Osher, the incumbent, winning that race.
All right. Well, the numbers continue to evolve, and we will keep our eyes on them. In the meantime, thank you for joining us.
Good night, everyone.
For more local news coverage, switch over to our sister station, ABC7, right now for ABC7 News at 11.
Hey, everyone. Today's an exciting day. I'm joined by my old friend, Mr. Ellis Williams, a.k.a. Mr. Biggs, one of the founding fathers of hip-hop from the mighty Soul Sonic Force, who, by the way, happened to be a Car Shield customer, and I had no idea.
When I saw you representing Car Shield, I knew Car Shield was the real deal. You've always been official.
You called me and you told me, you said, man, I got Car Shield, and it worked. What made you get it?
You know, I was actually watching a football game at the time. Car Shield commercial came on. I was like, you know what? I have this old SUV, and I know the manufacturer warranty is about to run out. I didn't want to get stuck with expensive car repairs.
Right.
So I gave Car Shield a call. Coverage was very affordable, and there was no long-term contract. A few months after that, transmission went on my car. I took it to my mechanic. Mechanic knew of Car Shield. They called Car Shield and saved my family and I $2,400.
Car Shield is America's #1 auto protection company. Their administrators have paid out over $1 billion in claims and cover most vehicles from 5,000 to 150,000 miles.
It's a wonderful evening to sing together.
Your favorite stars take the stage with a tribute to Alan Jackson. With performances by Luke Combs, Reba McEntire, Cody Johnson, Cole Swindell, and more. Plus, one-of-a-kind collaborations you'll only see here.
You will not want to miss this.
Luke Bryan and Peyton Manning host the CMA Awards live Wednesday on ABC and stream next day on Hulu.
ABC 7 and Fox 22, live at the Anna Schreiner's Festival of Trees on November 17th. A beautiful holiday live event sponsored locally by Village Variety. Delicious food and great service with a down-home atmosphere. Stop by today. Rowell's Garage and Car Wash, 191 East Main Street, Dover Foxcroft. See their inventory at rowellsgarage.com. And Luigi and Fredericks in Bangor for the fast and freshest flowers around.